Have you ever had something stolen from you, only to realize later that karma did your job for you? Well, let me tell you about the time an entitled Karen and her husband attacked me in a parking lot, stole what they thought was a brand new PlayStation 5 and ended up getting exactly what they deserved. It all started with a Christmas tradition my wife and I have followed for years. Instead of doing a typical Secret Santa exchange, we find a struggling family and surprise them with Christmas gifts. We've done this for nearly a decade, and it's always the highlight of our holidays. This year we found the perfect family, a hard-working single mom and her 12-year-old son, Jake. Jake was a straight-A student, but his mom simply couldn't afford expensive gifts. His biggest wish? A PlayStation 5. I was determined to make it happen. But there was one more twist. I had found out that Jake's family had a fun Christmas tradition. Every year they played practical jokes on each other, with fake presents. So I decided to join the fun. I got my hands on an empty PS5 box, filled it with coal, and added a little note with a classic troll face saying, "Merry Christmas, Santa." The plan was perfect. I would give Jake the real PlayStation 5 and the fake one as a joke gift, but fate had a completely different surprise in store. The day I bought the PS5 was when everything went sideways. I had found the last PlayStation 5 at a local gaming store. As I walked out, I was feeling pretty good about myself, but then I ran into her. A woman, blonde, mid-40s, wearing a fur coat even though it wasn't that cold, stormed past me, nearly knocking me over. Right behind her was a man who looked just as unfriendly, probably her husband. They both shoved their way into the store without so much as an, "Excuse me." Whatever. I wasn't about to let some rude people ruin my good mood. I walked to my car, placed the real PS5 behind my driver's seat, and went to grab a drink from my trunk. That's when I saw them. The Karen from earlier was speed walking toward me, her husband right behind her. "Excuse me, sir," she called out in a fake sweet voice. I turned around cautiously. Yeah?" Her eyes flickered to my car. "Did you just buy that PlayStation 5? I sighed. "Oh, here we go." "Yes," I said. Karen's eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. "Oh, perfect. My son has been wanting one and we need it." I frowned. Sorry, but this isn't for sale." Her husband crossed his arms and gave me a smug look. "Come on, man. Just sell it to us. We'll pay." Before I could answer, Karen whipped out her wallet and waved some cash in my face. $200, right now!" I stared at her. "The PlayStation costs $400. Her smile vanished. "Oh, come on. Just take the money and be a good person." Now I was getting annoyed. "Sorry," I said firmly, "but this is a gift for a kid who actually deserves it. Maybe you can check other stores." Her eyes narrowed. "You expect us to waste our time driving around when we know you have one right here?" At this point, I knew there was no reasoning with her. I shook my head and turned back to my trunk. That's when it happened. Out of nowhere, her husband shoved me. Now I'm a pretty big guy, but the sudden push caught me off guard. My glasses flew off and I hit the ground hard. I heard Karen screeching, "Grab it!" Through blurry vision, I saw them yank open my trunk and pull out a PS5 box. Before I could even react, they sprinted to their car and sped off, laughing like they had just won the lottery. I stumbled up, rubbing my shoulder. A bystander ran over and asked if I needed help. "Do you want me to call the cops?" I was still in shock. They had actually stolen it. Then I noticed something. I glanced into my car, and there it was. The real PS5, still sitting safely behind my driver's seat. And suddenly, I started laughing. Karen and her husband had stolen the fake box. The one filled with coal. They thought they had won, but Christmas had other plans. The bystander stared at me like I had lost my mind. Are you okay?" I wiped my eyes and grinned. "Better than okay." I explained what had happened, and he burst out laughing too. "So, do you still want to call the police?" he asked. I thought about it for a moment, but honestly, I didn't care anymore, because the best punishment was already on its way. Karen and her husband were racing home, thinking they had just scored a free PlayStation 5. I could only imagine their faces when they opened the box and found a pile of coal and a troll face staring back at them. And the best part? Since they stole it, they couldn't even return it. I just wish I could have seen their reaction. That night, after all the chaos had settled, I finally got to do what I had planned all along: deliver the real Christmas gift. I arrived at Jake's house, carrying the PlayStation 5 in a beautifully wrapped box. His mom opened the door and gasped when she saw me. "Oh my God. You actually got it?" she whispered, covering her mouth. "Yep," I said with a grin. "And it's all for Jake." Jake ran into the room, eyes wide with excitement. "Wait, is that—" I handed him the present, and he tore into it like a kid unwrapping pure happiness. The second he saw the PlayStation 5 logo, he froze. Then he let out the loudest scream of joy I've ever heard. "No way! No way! No way!" He started jumping up and down, holding the box like it was a bar of solid gold. His mom had tears in her eyes. I don't even know how to thank you." I waved it off. "You don't have to. This is what Christmas is about, right?" She hugged me, a tight, grateful hug that made everything worth it. As I turned to leave, I heard Jake whisper to himself, "This is the best Christmas ever." At that moment, I knew I had done the right thing. Meanwhile, at Karen's house now, I wasn't there to witness it, but I can only imagine what happened when Karen and her husband got home. I picture them rushing inside, giggling like kids who just pulled off the greatest heist of the century. I imagine Karen grabbing the box, eagerly tearing it open, her hands shaking with excitement. And then, boom! Charcoal. A giant troll face staring up at her. I like to think there was a moment of silence as realization slowly dawned on them. And then, what? "The hell is this?" Cue the screaming. I imagine Karen furiously digging through the box, tossing charcoal everywhere, convinced that the PlayStation 5 must be buried underneath. Her husband standing there in shock, rubbing his temples, trying to figure out how they got scammed, and the best part, since they stole it, they couldn't return it or complain to anyone. Karma is a beautiful thing. As I drove home that night, I felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Not because Karen got what she deserved, though that was pretty great. Not because I outsmarted two entitled thieves, but because in the end, I got to bring real happiness to someone who truly deserved it. Jake had a Christmas he would never forget. And as for Karen, well, something tells me she'll never forget this Christmas either. Moral of the story? Some people take, some people give, but in the end, the universe always balances things out. Now I have to ask, what would you have done in my place? Would you have called the police, chased them down, or just let karma do its thing? Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe for more crazy real-life stories.